I think it's fair to say that he has somewhat lost control of uh, his own agenda, and that the he's not really the master of events, if you like.
Let's get some more perspectives on the Mandelson scandal and the future of Kier Starmer as Prime Minister. If he survives, what becomes of the reset he tried so hard to get underway? We speak to Josh Glancy, who's the Sunday Times associate editor. He's written in depth about these kinds of subjects. Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
How much trouble do you think Kier Starmer is in right now?
Well, certainly if you talk to MPs and ministers, they will use the word terminal about his premiership. That could mean a number of different things, right? I mean, that doesn't mean he's likely to stop being prime minister tomorrow. What they mean is that it's sort of mortally wounded in their view. I could certainly think that I would expect Keir Starmer to survive this scandal in the short term. There's still no mechanism for getting him to go unless you saw a mass resignation of cabinet ministers, which we haven't thus far. There's still no obvious replacement for him, although obviously several names are being bandied around. So, I think he is badly wounded. Obviously, this scandal comes after a number of different policy U-turns and also other personnel issues. So there is a feeling that there isn't that much further for this premiership to go. But again, what the timings of that are, and it could easily go on for another year. I mean, people have been reflecting on Theresa May's premiership, which also felt mortally wounded actually for much of its duration. So, and that was about 2 years. So, there's lots of different possibilities that could play out.
You and I have spoken several times about a government reset, and another one's coming along. I mean, at the moment, are we beyond a reset then, from what you're saying? I mean, even yesterday, watching the Prime Minister speaking, his speech was essentially hijacked by himself, having to talk about Peter Mandelson at the beginning.
I think it's fair to say that he has somewhat lost control of his own agenda, and that he's not really the master of events, if you like. And so, to some extent, I think because of his weakness and because of this latest scandal, I think that he's somewhat being dictated to. We saw that with the release of documents to the Intelligence and Security Committee, which Angela Rayner effectively pushed him into changing his policy on within a matter of hours. I think that may be an indication of how things will, other issues will play out, that the Parliamentary Labour Party and certain powerful ministers within it hold Keir Starmer's fate in their hands now, and they will want to exercise that power. So to some extent, he's not entirely the master of his own fate at the moment.
I know you spent time with Kier Starmer, and I'm interested to know, I was struck this morning, first thing this morning, 6 o'clock when we came on air, we spoke to Kevin Schofield, who's the political editor at HuffPost UK, and he was saying that Kier Starmer doesn't have an inquiring mind. This is half the problem. He's not curious. He just sort of takes things, not quite at face value, but he doesn't necessarily delve in deeply. In your time spending, in the presence of Kier Starmer, do you think that's a fair assessment? Is that part of the problem here?
Yes and no. I mean, there's an irony here, isn't there, that Starmer came to power somewhat as a master of process, as a master of detail, as a master of, the technical bureaucratic art of whether it's running a lawsuit or running the DPP. I think I think Kevin has a point in that, he doesn't have a politically agile mind, so he doesn't necessarily see things. He doesn't necessarily see around corners. He doesn't actually see what might just look like three chess moves ahead. He's not gaming out those scenarios in his head. So, I think we sort of know what happened with the Mandelson appointment, really, which is that there was some damaging information available about Mandelson. It was in the public domain. They made a political calculation that it was worth the risk, that he would be an effective ambassador at the court of Trump. They obviously either didn't know or were lied to about, some of the stuff that's come to light subsequently. I don't think anyone expected these forwarded emails to come to light between Mandelson and Epstein, and so they made a call. And I think Harriet Harman, her point was probably accurate, that it was naive and weak. And it was weak because I don't think Starmer even particularly wanted Mandelson. That other people were suggesting him, and Starmer went along with it because he doesn't really have a strong political vision of his own, strong political convictions of his own. So he accepted the advice of others, and that does look a bit weak in retrospect.
Josh, really good to get your analysis. Thank you for coming on.
Cheers.
That's Josh Glancy there, the Sunday Times Associate Editor.